now in week 3 of the Coach Jake program high school edition, and I'm excited to talk about a topic that's really personal to me that I take a lot of priority in, and that is developing team culture, specifically in a short season as it relates to a high school season. And in a high school season, you only get 3, maybe 4 months to develop that culture, and you can't just waste time hoping that it emerges out of nowhere. You have to be super intentional day to day as a coach of implementing and growing that culture. So what is culture and why is it important? Well, culture is what the athletes feel every single day that they show up to the pool. It's how the team relates to each other. It's how the team pursues goals together. Step 1 would be to define and share your personal values and the values of the program. For example, my personal values are respect, excellence, leadership, and service. Everything I do, every decision I make, every action I take should be in alignment with one or more of those goals. Similarly, from a program perspective, your program should have outlaid values, think 2 to 5 values at most, and every decision we make as a team, every path we take, every action we take should be in alignment with one of those values. I'd encourage all coaches to pick 2 to 3 values that they'll apply in the high school season, and these can be personal values, these can be program values, and make sure you share those values with the team so that they are aware of them. Maybe post them on paper practices, maybe put them in the locker room, but all of the team should know what those values are. Step 2 would be to establish habits early and often. And this is a topic we discussed in the previous video in this series, but these can be non-negotiable things like showing up to practice on time, showing up with a full water bottle, having a prepared gear bag, doing 4 underwater kicks off of every single wall, or not breathing in and out of our turns. They're just things that we can hold our athletes to. They're standards of training and culture. These are all things that don't necessarily require excessive talent, but they just require a commitment from the athletes and a commitment from you as the coach to hold them to those standards. Next up would be to create connection and fun. Athletes buy into culture when they feel seen and when they feel heard. So you need to look at your job as more than just implementing an athletic program. Your job is to connect with these athletes on a personal level, get to know them, and that will cause them to build trust in you and to buy into the culture that you are creating. Lastly would be to make the concept of team really, really visible. And what I mean by that is team should always take precedent over the individual, team over me. Even in an individual sport like swimming, especially in a high school season, team is the priority. And that can show up by highlighting and prioritizing relays, dual meets, and overall team scores rather than individual performances, and certain team challenges that you implement throughout the season within practice. Included in the concept of team, I would also highly recommend outlining clear team outcome-oriented goals. And what I mean by that is laying out what those team goals are. What do you want to achieve at the end of the season? Is it win a conference championship? Maybe it's win a state championship. Maybe it's we want to break 3 team records, or we want to win 2 relays at states. These are all outcome goals that aren't necessarily totally in the control of us coaches and of the athletes, but they create a shared vision to which you can hold your athletes accountable in their processes, in their journey towards those outcome goals. Is you're going to have process goals along the way, and I'll use the example of 4 underwater kicks off every wall. If our team is checking the box of 4 underwater kicks off every wall consistently through practice, it'll move us closer to the potential outcome goal of a conference championship, for example. Make those team goals visible, talk about them, post them in the locker room. You want the team consistently oriented towards those goals. Culture overall can really be nailed down to the key concepts that we just covered. Number 1, values. Number 2, how those values can be implemented into the habits that you commit to day in and day out. Next would be the connection that your athletes feel to those values, to those habits, to the standards, and to you as a coach. And lastly would be prioritizing the concept of team over me. In a 3 or 4 month season, you don't have time for culture to just emerge. You have to be super intentional about implementing it from day one in a certain vision you have, and allowing the athletes to take that vision and make it their own. If you're a coach, don't just chase high performance. Yes, that's what we're in the business for. We want to swim fast. But I promise if you prioritize connection and culture, you will get a group of kids that want to come back and train with you and race with you year after year.